Since I know you like the talk. Since I know you like the talk, and I know you not that far. Come down the street with the guys. Come down the street with the guys. Since I know you like the talk, and I know you not that far. Come down the street with the guys. Come down the street with the guys. We got the man Coach out on the ones and twos. We got the homie G-Law giving breaking news. We got Megatron up here, catch on my dude. Real talk here, man, don't get it confused. A few black men with excellence on a daily. Different situations spoken on daily. Speaking fast round here, real fast though. Real fast round here, big fat homes. Don't miss the real on this cast, bro. You can even come and have a good laugh though. And they only giving people what they ask for.
Rock and roll. It's the local dudes. We're back for another one. Welcome to the guys down the street. We got a special episode today. We're going to be talking about basketball, coaching basketball, and the player perspective as well. We got some special guests with us, but first, I'm your co-host, Isaiah, here with my boys, Gerald, G1 Megatron,
Big Papa Pump,
and Gray, Law G3. Our special guest today, we're going to start with the, beauty before age. We're going to start with Coach Harrelson. Coach Jeff Harrelson has been coaching basketball for 26 years as a high school coach. What's going on, Coach?
Oh, good, man. Honor and privilege to be here tonight.
Good. We thank you.
to have you, sir.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to go to my former player, one of my former players, one of Gray's former players, Brenden Marcell, head coach at Lugoff-Elgin. What's going on, Brenden?
What's happening, man? Just I'm literally at the gym now. We got a tournament Monday and Tuesday, so it's good to take a break and talk to you guys.
Man, we appreciate you joining us, man. And then last but definitely not least, another one of our former players, Mr. Jeremy Byrd. What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Hey, how you
I'm very happy to be here. Speak my voice.
Oh, we're glad you could join us, man. We're glad you could join us. Before we get started, man, we're going to take this time for us guys to shout out any local entrepreneurs that we want to shout out today. Gray, you got anybody you trying to shout out today? Put them on the map.
We'll do it quick. We'll go with my sister-in-law / sister, Adreana. She is doing United Healthcare, Medicaid, Medicare for them, and it's an independent life insurance policy stuff. I'll have her information in the actual setup, but we'll shout her out for right now. Just doing insurance. She seems to be doing well with the older couple. It's been kind of rough during COVID, but she goes in with the mask and the shield and gets it done anyway. So, yeah, we'll definitely put her in.
Everybody need that life insurance. Everybody, if you can afford it. Don't leave your kids here with nothing.
I'm going to take my time and I'm gonna shout out one of my friends, the co-worker. His name is Reggie Rocc. He is a Christian hip-hop artist. He is from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And he was recently nominated for a Stellar Award, which is like the Gospel Grammys, for best hip hop Christian album of the year. He did not win, but it was an honor to be nominated nonetheless. He also sells clothes. He has his own clothing line, which you can find at rockbottom.com, ROCC bottom.com, and also in the Westgate Mall at Local Brand Outfitters. His motto is Rocc Bottom, motivation starts here, nowhere to go but up. All right, man. We've been talking about some of this off camera, but y'all, so the NBA draft, man, Coach, I know you proud of the two Florida State players you talked about, 2 in the lottery. What's
right.
That? That's like first time ever for Florida State, ain't it?
Absolutely.
Man, that's what's up.
We'd have won the Natty back in the spring if they'd had a tournament.
Man, and what's funny is Edwards, he was down to Florida State and Georgia. Y'all have got him. Y'all have had 3 lottery picks.
I know.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's crazy.
We didn't need him though.
Well, he needed y'all because he didn't have a lot of help in Athens.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the NBA after the NBA draft. We got all these trades, man. Ray brought it up early, man. Gordon Hayward, 120 mil. Bro, dude ain't played the whole season like in 3 years, have he?
No, I just don't understand that kind of money being pushed to one player.
Man,
Right.
Hey, Gordon Hayward said it's 2020. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I would
Oh man.
read the contract off twice. Sure, this is the number you sent it, right? This is it.
Yeah.
Gotta signed it twice on the pay.
Hey man.
So,
And then you
I don't know.
You got Gerald hating on my boy LeBron, man. LeBron trying to beef up. He getting old, man. He need help, man. He trying to beef the team up, dog.
That's not the GOAT no more, man. Jordan never did do that. So let's stop the comparison because Jordan never did go out here and try to bring everybody to him to get one more ring. That ain't how you do it. That's not how you do it, man. You know, I don't even, you know, I don't really, once, you know, basketball season over, I don't really follow it, but I was at the gym doing a cardio and I seen it and I was like, wait a minute. I'm going through Facebook and I see trade the Lakers, trade the Lakers, trade the Lakers. I'm like, what? Really, LeBron? This is what you doing? One more time? You finna get all these people in your damn team? Come on, man.
Hey, dog.
Hey, you own the agency. Hey,
and then I see,
agency.
and then I see Jordan paying old buddy $125 million. I'm like, okay, well, at this point, everybody's trying to stack teams.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same no more, man. I'm sorry.
Like Byrd said earlier, man. Hey, LeBron getting old, his legs don't respond to his mind.
He need young guys on his team now.
Hey, it's almost like what the dart out in traffic. If you're gonna do it, do it. Don't just stand there and act like you don't do it and come back. Get out there, LeBron.
When you get old, you try to play basketball, boy. You be thinking one thing, but your body be thinking a totally different. That's how I hurt my back. I was trying to dive for a ball. I had it in my sight.
Did you say dive?
Yeah, I dove for a ball.
Dude, you are not getting paid to dive for no ball.
I'm trying to get the dub, baby.
It's not that serious. Hey, get right.
Why it'll pick up.
Hey, dog.
I got next.
Hey, dog. I hate losing, man. It don't matter what it is. I hate losing, dog.
We had a guy at work blow his knee out. This one got to be mid-40, blow his knee out because he want to damn try to go up for a rebound and came down on somebody's foot, but then I don't know how it tweaked his knee, but blew his darn knee out. I'm like, man, come on,
I ain't been back to play since.
If you can't get it, you can't get it.
So what were you about to say?
Well, I'm a Rockets fan, and they're all trying to leave.
I know. I saw that.
Right. The whole team.
So what's they done? I thought Westbrook and Harden got along fine.
Nah, they're both trying to get out. I don't know what.
What you gonna do, man?
You know,
you ain't gonna have no team left to cheer for.
Well, they should have learned that you don't play defense, you don't win. So
no, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
My thing is everybody want to be the man.
Yep.
And that's just not this the generation coming up now. Everybody want to be the man. So it's they don't know how to play team ball no more, man.
That's true. And speaking of that, you know, I think I witnessed a little bit of maturity in old Byrd his senior year. I'm telling you, man, your senior year, dog, you started out, you ain't want no part of Cario sharing your spotlight. Hey, but as the season got on, Byrd saw that if Cario came to play and he came to play, we would go farther. So, man, y'all was at each other's throat at the beginning, but by the end, it was all respect.
Hey, but I knew from the jump that Cario was gonna be a good player because I didn't know who he was. And I would ask Coach like, "Who is this kid right here?" And he was like, "Oh, he's a freshman." I'm like, the way he's practicing and playing, he gonna probably start at some point.
Yeah.
And I had my rough patches,
but
I think Coach put me at the 2 at one point.
Yeah, he did.
I was having a rough, but Cario, hey, anytime I had a bad game, man, he was right there to pick me up.
For real.
If I had 15, he might have had 30, man. So without Cario being on that team, I don't think we'd have made it that far, man.
But like Gerald said, man, it's a lot of like me attitudes. So I mean, I guess we'll get into like how everybody, because everybody's coach, and now Jeremy, you got your son, and you can be teaching him this too, but like how we deal with the players that had a me attitude, whether it's youth basketball, AAU, high school. Like we coached Brenden, and Brenden was the ultimate team player. Like and outworked everybody, and all the dudes, and a lot of the dudes that was the me dudes on the team didn't even go to college. Then Brenden went to college because he's like the ultimate teammate. So like Coach Harrelson, we'll start with you. Like how do you deal with the me attitude as opposed to the team attitude?
It's definitely gotten harder over the years, especially with social media and just people just trying to promote themselves. There were days I can remember. When I started out, we'd keep 15 on a team, but it's hard to keep 15 these days because that 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th kid is wondering, and his parents are wondering why they're not getting to play.
And see, I think a lot of that has to do with the parents.
Yeah, it is.
And I think too, like there's so many, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, but there's so many trainers out there and places you can go, and they're going to tell you what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
So you go get training somewhere, and they say, "Oh, you should be starting," when really it's probably not very accurate. So that it hurts us as high school coaches because like where I'm at now, I don't have 13 great players, but they all think they're great. So it really is you have to really decide how do you handle that 13th kid who thinks and his parents think he should be starting. So it definitely has changed, I would say, in the last 15, 20 years. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. What about you, Brenden? Have you had any of that in your? Because I know you just one season at Lugoff, but you was at Dorman for a year, and then also in college. Like, tell us how it was in college, like, because you coached at Coker and Newberry. So, did you have any of the me attitudes that y'all had to deal with at any of those stops?
A little bit, like even though we were Division II, our guys still thought, that they were going to go to the NBA, and I know that sounds crazy. So there's a little bit of me, like I got to score, but in college, usually guys put that aside so you can, go try to win some basketball games and make it to the tournament. But at Dorman, we were loaded with talent, and I think what made them special, what made those teams special, were they didn't care who got the credit, and like there was multiple guys that could have scored 20 a night, and but like they were able to set that aside, and I mean they were fine. I mean that wasn't an issue there. I am having an issue here, and I'll tell you, like we had a scrimmage, 2 nights ago, and I can log in the huddle and see who's watching film. Okay, now I'm thinking, wow, that's Isaiah's watching. He's already watched an hour of the film. Okay, but he ain't watching the film to figure out how he can get better. Okay, he's trying to clip that one highlight so he can post it on Snapchat or Instagram or wherever to feel good about himself.
Yeah,
and just so like what Jeff said, it's like there's so much pressure to do well and score points. It's really about points. They don't really care about anything else. I just want that one highlight. So that's what I'm battling a little bit, and I think it's worse now than it's ever been because, when I played, there was no. I mean, we were sharing film on, I think, VHS still. Yeah. I don't. So there was no like YouTube highlight reels. That was just coming out. So it's tough. The me stuff is tough right now.
So Jura, you coached in youth sports, and at that age, a lot of them just want to have fun. But you got 2 kids too. Your little girl play volleyball, and so how you, as a parent, how you teach them not to be, like be the best they can be, but also team first.
Well, I'm gonna refer to my son because my little girl, she's she's a team person. She's trying to develop that competitive spirit. But my son, that's a whole nother.
He trying to be Jordan.
Now y'all got older kids. We talking about. I started coaching at six. Well, I think it was 6, and then I think it was 8, and then 12, somewhere around there. But my son, he's a Curry fan, and all he sees is shooting. Now, granted, the little joker, he's an athlete. He is an athlete, but he was on a court of. I mean, and it took me a while to notice it, but all the time he get the ball, he's gonna shoot. Get the ball, he shoot. Get the ball, he shoot. You give him the ball, he's gonna take it to the hole. He's gonna shoot. So I have to get in his mind that it's not just you, man. You have to let even though if other players don't want to shoot the ball, you still have to give them a chance.
Right.
And because my father wouldn't let her push me like that. I had to do everything on my own when it came to sports. I had to learn how to dribble left. I had to learn how to, do different combination moves. I had to learn it on my own. And being he got me, he just think that nobody else exists on the team. So it's difficult at a smaller age, man, because you got the people there, and then everybody calling his name and cheering him on, and he just steady shooting that ball. I mean,
I tell you what you do.
I told that boy, hey, I said, you shoot that ball one more time, I'm gonna pull you. I'm gonna pull you. You have people open, son. You can't shoot with 3 people on you, man.
Oh man,
you cannot do that. You see, he's 6, 7. We play 6, 7, 8, 9. He played up until 11 years old, and then grades start messing up. But this guy, I don't get it. But it's a learning process for him, man. It's I just tell him all the time, man. It's a team game, dog. You can't be an individual player. You're not gonna make it fall like that. First off, you're gonna do too much work, and you're gonna be mad at yourself, or you're gonna get injured. Yeah. You're just gonna do too much.
Well, Bird, you played all your life, even overseas. You know what I'm saying? Professional ball. You played in high school, played college, and especially going from high school to college, where you went from the main scorer to the point guard, and that was different for you. So, like, how did you not have some of the me attitude? Like, look, man, you recruited me to score, and now you're gonna put me at point guard where you tell me not to shoot.
Well, the first thing I learned was I couldn't really shoot. That's what I learned in college. I could score, but I could not shoot. Luckily,
and he's dribbling.
My coach was honest though. Coach Payne was pretty honest with me and told me my role before he offered me my scholarship. He told me my role would be probably my freshman and sophomore year or whatever. And he basically told me, like, I want you to come in as a backup. And then he told me who the point guard was or whatever. And then once I met the point guard, which was Chris Paul's brother, CJ Paul, and I saw him, and I was like, it's better for me to learn behind him because he was a great player. And a lot of players don't want to take that back seat. And one of my favorite players did it, which was D. Wade. Yeah. When LeBron came, he took that back seat.
For real.
Because he knew LeBron was the man.
LeBron,
and that's how I felt.
LeBron kind of did that with AD. Yeah, LeBron kind of did that with AD this year. I mean, he did. Yes, he did, dog. He did. He told AD, we only gonna go as far as you go. The media made it like LeBron was still the man, but LeBron told AD, we ain't gonna do this without you, dog. So great. When you was at Berea, hey man, how you like? Gray, you might be one of the most direct coaches I've never been around. How you tell the kids what their role is?
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I was about to say when Byrd just said that. I kind of picked up from Coach Harrelson when we first started this brand. He would sit kids down, and he would be gentle about telling you what your role was, and he would get you to buy into it. I took a different approach. I would tell you who you were. I would tell you what you were incapable of doing, and I'd tell you if you did what you were incapable of doing, you'd be on the bench. And as simple as that. But like, there would just be times when you would get to that point where I could see you. Perfect example. I think, Brent, I don't know if you were coaching with me then, but we had Lex in the AAU game, and I called the timeout, pulled the team over, and I explained to them, if you pass the ball to Lex, I will bench you. I said, he will play the next 10 minutes without touching this ball. I said, I don't care if he's wide open on the 3, the block, do not pass him the ball. And he's standing there like, am I in this huddle? And I wanted him to understand that you have to learn to play without a basketball in your hand. And you have to be able to do that in order to be the guy that you say you want to be. So I told him, if you want to score, you better get a rebound or a steal. That's the only way you're getting the ball from us. Now, kids at Berea, it gets different because when I was first there under Harrelson and we were doing a thing, you could say stuff to kids and I wouldn't have to worry about a parent conference afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking basketball to you. I'm talking honesty to you. I'm telling you about what we're doing. You know, and it would be times you could say whatever. Now, toward the end, I could say the phrase came about, and I know everybody remembers this phrase. I'm trying to get my shine on, coach, or stuff like that being said to you. And it just got to the point where that's when the selfish mode started coming in, where kids would you be playing and you're pulling up for a 3 and you got a fast break and you're like, I'm wide open and things like that. And it's like, okay, if you're pulling up for that shot, you're not about the team. You're just trying to score. You're trying to get that highlight. You're trying, like Brenden said, you're trying to create that highlight. So I kind of had to change my way of coaching because kids completely changed.
Yeah.
They would shut down for you raising your voice. They wouldn't work as hard in practice.
Well.
And they didn't take it to heart in a loss. You know, they would lose a game and would immediately go right to their phones in the locker room where you guys would sulk for like hours. We would have to console you, call you at home, make sure you were okay because you took it to heart. Yeah. We lost the last playoff game that I was at Berea, and not more than 5 minutes after the game, they were in the locker room taking selfies. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't understand this concept of being able to coach kids who don't really take it to heart. Your senior year, last year, you might put on a uniform, and you just lost the last playoff game to a team you should have beat by 30. And you're taking photos.
Well, I think some of that goes to, like Coach Harrelson said, like social media changed a lot because I mean, I coached with Coach Harrelson for what is it, 12, 13, 14 years. The first 8 or 9 we was at Berea. He always let me do all the player management as far as game time stuff, subs and roles and things like that. And at Berea it was a little bit easier because sometimes, you know, most times a lot of them kids, you like if you was on a team with Byrd and Cario, you knew you wasn't the scorer. If it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like you knew you wasn't the scorer. But as we got on later on in our coaching career together, it got harder and harder. And I guess to be honest, maybe I didn't adapt well as a coach because like I tried to change my way of the message. You know, you show kids stats, you tell them what they're good at. They don't want to hear that. Like you can't tell a kid that he 2 for 30 from the 3-point line and he believe you. I'm like,
hey,
I'm just.
Coach I say, yeah. I remember that conversation.
Listen,
I know
this
exactly
is how,
who you're talking about.
Hey, this is how I did it. So I learned from Coach Harrelson. First, you lead with the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? You lead with the good stuff. So I say, hey man, we've been watching film. You one of the best people at getting to the rack, which means the more you get to the rack, the more you get fouled, the more you shoot free throws. He couldn't finish, but he could get there, and he would get fouled. He listened to us the first game. He went for 18 points, didn't shoot not one jump shot. But then went to Christmas tournament. You got more eyes, more fans, more people in the stands. And I told him, I said, hey, man, we watched the film the other day, man, and you was going to the rack. You shot like 15 free throws, whatever it was. I'm like, you scored 18 points. That's kind of, I was like, so what do you think we want you to do today? He was like, go to the hole. I was like, yeah, cool. I'm thinking everything is good, you know? So game starts. He takes a couple of threes and don't hit them. And then right before halftime, he pulls up on a fast break, one-on-one at the 3-point line and missed it. And Coach Harrelson can attest. Sometimes I just can't hold my tongue. and I'm a bit sarcastic. So as we walking down the hall, I go, "Whew, guess you were just feeling that 3 at half, right before half, huh?" So we get in the locker room and he telling everybody, he said, "Coach, I say I can't shoot." I said, "I didn't say you couldn't shoot. I said you're 2 for 30 on the year. You drew your own assumptions. I just gave you the stats."
Numbers
You
don't
know,
lie,
so
right?
and things like that. So, you know, I don't know, man. I was like, I gotta take a break and regroup. But Coach Harrelson and Brenden, y'all are adapting well to these new kids. At least it looked like it from the outside. But Brenden and Coach, y'all got games coming up on Monday. I mean, it's a little different now with COVID, but y'all ain't had no parents asking y'all how things are going or pressuring y'all to put kids in when the season starts?
I'll go first. Yeah, you know, we had a parent meeting, and we did varsity, JV, and B team all at the same time. And lucky for me, in our district handbook, okay, there's a line in bold that says playing time is not guaranteed. Okay. So I read, you know, word for word, line for line from the handbook at the meeting, and I even stopped and I said, and in bold, and I lit up. I said it's not guaranteed, and you know it. So I got a little bit of coverage there, but I explained a couple of the playing time issues we had with parents last year, and you're not going to believe this. After the meeting, I had a parent storm out. Okay. But you know, here's the deal: is I got really good young kids in my program. So like we've pulled up some 8th graders to play JV, and we got 2 freshmen starting on varsity for us, which is sometimes is a struggle. But that's gonna hurt my senior parents that are freshmen playing over their baby, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, here's the deal. I am so brutally honest, kind of like Gray a little bit. And you know, last year, like we were shooting, you know, abysmally from the field. And you know, we brought guys in and said, "You are not allowed to shoot." It is, I mean, it is proof. Here are your numbers. I mean, I said, "We are not great when you shoot the ball." And it is what it is, though. You know, like you said, like on that team with, you know, Byrd and Cario. Okay, yeah, that's easy. But when you don't have any studs, everyone's trying to be that guy because their mom or their dad or their AAU coach or their trainer have told them they're so good, and you know they're working on their skills or whatever that are skills that I don't even want them working on. Okay, and they've been told they're so great for so long, and they want to shoot every shot they got. And you know, I don't. Do y'all use profanity on this show?
Yeah, that's fine. You can say, "Hey, we edited it
Yeah.
out." You can say, "Yes, Gerald makes my life hard editing." So you can say whatever you want to
Well,
say.
I have no filter.
Well, we got blasted Thursday in our scrimmage, and we had kids airballing and missing dunks and missing layups. Like it was awful. And I told my kids, you know, hell, it ain't me out there airballing, you know. And I don't even think it bothered them. But you know, my message was, I said, I hope you get home tonight and your parents look at you and say, "What the hell was that?" And I said, because you should be embarrassed.
Nah.
But it didn't bother them though. And I don't know, that's a cultural society thing right now. And but you know, and then the response is, "Oh, coach, it was just one game. You know, I just had a bad shooting night." You know.
Yeah.
But it ain't just one game. I mean, that's who that kid is, or that's who we are.
You can't just
know?
turn it on when you want to.
No, that was just one shot.
So Gerald, what if your son tell you after you see him play bad, he say, "Daddy, it's just one game." What you gonna do? Because honestly, listen, one thing me and Coach Harrelson agreed on at all our stops, if the parents, like, you know, as far as like listening to parents, if they don't listen to their parents, it's gonna be hard for them to listen to somebody that didn't give birth to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be honest. So Jerry, your son come home, you thinking, man, he had a terrible game. You like, man, what was all that? And he's like, "Daddy, it's just one game, man."
Man, them games. Because it was one year I didn't coach him, but I come off the road to come watch you play, and when I come to watch you play, I expect doing something spectacular, not out there assing around. You looking over here at me, you ain't paying attention to where your man at. Man, after the game, after one of those games, I said, son, he's like, Dad, what you think about that? I was like, you realize how many 3-pointers you shot? Yeah. I said, son, it ain't about hitting the rim. You got to make the damn shot. I was like, you just throwing the damn ball up there willy-nilly. I was like, you ain't even trying to hit the damn shot. You just throwing it up there. I was like, it's okay that you can shoot it, but you have to hit the shot. I was like, and in your defense, you too busy looking at me. I don't know if I'm making noise on the sideline. I don't know if he can hear my voice or everybody else's. That's probably what it is. Still over here, he's looking at me. I'm like, son, where's your man? He over there. I'm like, man. So he's like, Dad, what you think? I was like, man, you did. I was like, son, I was like, look, I already go sugarcoat it. I was like, you might want to look at another sport because this right here might not work. I was like, man, we practice this all the time. Like when I see stuff in my kids, I'll go in. I try to train them myself as much as I can before I lead them on to somebody else. And I tell my son all the time, man, when it comes to defense, you have to stay with your man. At this younger age, y'all don't know nothing about 2-3, so y'all really paying a bunch of man to man. Where he go, you go. You don't let him get in front of you. You don't let him do nothing. How was the game? I said, man, you need to work on your defense. I was cool. I was like, you need to work on your defense, man, and you got to stop shooting that ball. Drive to the hole. That's why I teach you different dribbling moves. I wake up with you all the time, and we go outside and we do all kind of dribbling, all the basic stuff, and you're not using it. I was like, you're wasting my time. That's what I told him. I was like, I'm not gonna keep teaching you stuff if you ain't gonna use it when you get out there, man. Maybe cut my overtime short to come watch you play. This all man, look here, man.
Coach. Cut the overtime, Coach. Oh man, so Byrd, whenever you would do something wrong, me and Coach Harrelson say something to you, but what would your mama say though?
Well, my mama really wasn't. She didn't judge a lot. She didn't say much. She told me to make sure I listened to Coach Harrelson, but she never like critiqued me or nothing like that. She was always on my side. If you notice, like if I got five, she was on the referee head.
Can I cut it real quick? Listen, when I would take Byrd home after practice, I knew when I pulled up, if Mama was sitting in the front porch, something was going down. He didn't do something right.
Well, she didn't really like get on me if I played bad or nothing like that. I mean, she said what she said, but I knew my mama didn't really know basketball. So
okay.
You really don't even know what you're talking about. You might just be saying what you heard or I didn't make a shot. But at that time, I thought I was a shooter when I was in high school. I shot the ball. So I made them, but I wasn't no shooter.
Yeah, you was a scorer.
Really but my son,
I will say this about Byrd. I had the privilege. I went to league, and when Byrd was in 8th grade, and was coaching JV at Berea, and he played for me for 2 years for JV, and then 3 years for varsity. I think we went like 40-4 on JV. I think we were 88-17 the 3 years he played varsity. So I got spoiled real quick being.
Hey, I did not know that record. I'm finna know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Well,
yeah,
Isaiah just played his first year at the Y, so it really wasn't that important. I told my wife, if he finished the season, it's been a success. Like without wanting to quit. That's all I wanted. As long as he finished the season, Man, like I was kind of like Gerald. Like, look, man, I don't care what you do on offense, but you gonna play some defense, so you're not gonna play it at all. So,
Yes.
like you stay with your man. I don't care. The coach didn't really. He just said, "Hey, y'all go out there and have fun." I'm like, man, these other team come out here beating us down, and you telling them to go have fun. Like, hey, man, you trying to mentally scar them for life. I'm like, at least need to be competitive. But like I coach AAU and high school, but I was kind of spoiled starting out. Like my AAU team, I got to pick them, and then I come to Berea my first year. I got Byrd, Cario, Trap, Dominique. I'm like, what's Jamal brother name? Cisco, Ricky,
Steven.
Steve, and then we went to the third round of the playoffs. Really, listen. We on camera now. We on record. I'm gonna go ahead and take the fault for the loss in the third round. So, Byrd, the reason why I didn't start you out on Devin Downey is because you was a little fat. you was very aggressive on defense, which was very good. But with the aggression, you sometimes would pick up a ticky-tack foul.
Hey,
so when Coach Harrelson asked me, I say
he got me a technical because he picked up his third foul in the first half.
So Coach Harrelson asked me who I was gonna start out on Devin. He's like, we're gonna go Byrd. And I was like, that's the best matchup, but Cario played good defense too, and I don't want to get Byrd in foul trouble. But what I didn't realize about Byrd until I watched you in college is when you wasn't playing, because you was such a defensive-minded person, when you wasn't playing the top scorer on the other team, you was disengaged.
Yeah, very much
so. So Cario played good defense.
He did.
First quarter, Devin had 3 points. You know what I'm saying? He had a layup and a free throw. And then second quarter, I need to give him a rest. I still, like Coach Harrelson said, you'll pick up a little foul right before halftime. We couldn't have you in foul trouble. So I put your boy Steven on him. And he hit that first three-pointer, and then y'all know the rest is history. Okay. And then Ricky blacked out and had a concussion, and oh no.
Okay, listen, man, I was so mad at Coach Harrelson because of you now. Listen, it was in the paper. Byrd versus Downey. I had been heard about Downey for so long, so I wanted to play him so bad. I'm like, this is gonna be a matchup because I know he can play. But what really made me want to play him when we was doing shoot around, some kid, he had to be every bit of like 10 or 11. He came, he was like, hey, who y'all point guard? So everybody pointed at me like, that's our point guard right there. He said, Devin gonna bust your ass.
3 years old?
Why you didn't tell me?
Man, listen, I'm hyped now. I'm ready. Man, listen, that jump. Hey, I had them 2 first charges. I was mad. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to play him then, but that right there, that little kid, I don't know who that little kid is to this day, but boy, he had me ready to play them.
But that's exactly what I told him. I was like, I ain't want to get you in foul trouble. And I'm like, you in foul trouble. And then Devin, I already knew Devin was gonna score some points. As a coach,
yeah.
As a coach,
Definitely.
As a team, as a player, you thinking we gonna shut this dude down. But as a coach, you know what players are gonna get. Like you're not gonna stop Devin altogether. You just want to try to slow him down. Right. And I figured it was gonna be a tight game. We needed you for the end. And then, like I say, it was my first year coaching you, so I didn't really know that you get disengaged when you ain't playing that top
I'm not
dude.
an off-ball defender.
No, you was a great on-ball defender, but you wasn't. Listen, I think, Coach, what did he end up with, like 12 points that night?
I'll say this about, and to me, like as a coach, and I think Brenden can probably attest to this, the guys that really mean the most to me are the guys that practice it didn't matter what we were doing, a drill, they hated to lose the drill. And Byrd and Cario were the guys, and that just elevates practice. I mean, it didn't matter if Byrd was in the 8th grade or the 12th grade, he hated to lose. He hated to run that sprint after the drill. And that when you can make practice harder than the games, and you have guys that compete in practice every day, that makes a team. And like I said, I got spoiled with some really good, great kids early on, and it's just amazing the effort in practice. It does. It translates to the games, and I tell them that every day. That the way you practice is the way you're going to play, and we have more battles in practice. I remember Byrd losing a tooth because he ran into the wall of Korea, going after a loose ball. I mean, to me, that's what I treasure as a coach, man. Even to this day.
Brenden, your team practice real hard?
Yeah, we do. But I'll say this: like what Jeff is talking about, it's hard to teach that. Like you have to see it or grow up with it. And I don't have. I mean, those dudes are hard to find. Like dudes that want to I want dudes that want to fight you after they lose.
Yeah.
Not because
on the south side.
Not slow losers, but you want guys that are just that intense that the anger is just
not because they're immature, just because they want to win so bad. You know, and it's that's really hard to find. And but no, I mean, we try to, like he said, you lose a drill or whatever you're running. Every drill has to have a winner or a loser for me. It just has to be. And because like our kids have a tough time accepting they lost. It could be something simple. Like I lose, the refs blew that game. So like our kids try to find a way out of saying we didn't lose. So, but no, we that's what he's talking about. That's what makes good teams great. Is they got a couple dudes that can really, really compete for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm great. When y'all had Lex and y'all go to like the second round? Y'all played Wade Hampton, but y'all had a shot that year to really make it because Wade Hampton ended up making it to Upstate. So y'all had practices. Y'all had practices like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they didn't have the tenacity to actually want to get physical with each other, but they had the ability. They would stay in practice with me because those were the guys and that's what I kind of try to tell. Like when Manus came, he didn't realize those guys that we had on the varsity with my JV team, and Harrelson can tell you he'd be packing up, and I'd still be running guys, and they wouldn't understand why they were running so hard and working so hard. And I told them, if you work hard in practice, I won't even have to wash your uniform come game night because this won't even be hard for you. You won't even sweat. You won't even break a sweat yet. But when I got on the varsity and they started getting that maturity about them, they started getting that dog in them, as they say, that year we dug in and they just actually just bought into everything I was doing. We were there on Sundays. We were there late night running. After that, we go hit the gym, hit the workout and everything else. And then we come back the next week, do it again. So that year they just bought in. It was just luck of the draw that we lost that game, but it was not because of lack of work from those kids.
Yeah.
It was just a missed layup. But those probably were the last group of hard workers that I had seen at the school. The rest of them just kind of played on entitlement. And I had to break that down to them as well, saying, you guys have not done anything but put on a Berea uniform. You're not a part of the Berea legacy yet because you haven't won anything yet.
Exactly.
You don't work as hard as the kids I used to watch. Like when I first started coaching, and at the old gym, I'd come in when you and Coach Harrelson would be in, and it would just be sweat dripping off the walls.
Hot box, baby.
So hot in the old gym, and nobody was complaining. Nobody was asking for water. Nobody was doing anything but working and going at each other. And they kind of lost that. When we went to the new school and it got brand new and everything got comfortable and everybody was like, hey, we're part of the elite schools now, and they lost that drive.
Well,
for about 3 years.
Well,
they lost.
While we was coaching, you always had somebody ask you, "Hey, man, how can I get into coaching? How can I get into coaching?" But that drive got to be there for the coaches too. Like I try to tell people, you can't just coach because you think you know some X's and O's, man. You got to be ready to give all your time, all your extra time. Like especially like for me and like Coach Harrelson. Your teacher, Brenden, the teacher, they at school, Brenden running 3 practices, staying till 10 o'clock at night, Coach Harrelson taking kids home. I'm driving an hour to meet up with the game. So with that said, Gerald, they just recently asked you to coach, and you drive the truck. You gonna be what you gonna do? You gonna spend that extra time because you got working out. You compete at working out. You drive the truck. What you
It
gonna
is
do?
exactly, and it's a
Well,
thankless
I,
job.
I haven't done it since I pulled my son from playing. But I'm gonna tell you, when it started with 6U, and my son's mom is the one who volunteered me. Now I'm coming to the little practice. I'm just coming there to watch him to make sure he doing everything he supposed to do. At 6 years old, he learning. I ain't really teaching none of that age, so I'm sitting there, I'm chilling. And then it was Coach Will, and Coach Will was looking for an assistant coach. There's a bunch of women there. He only had maybe one or two guys that was there with the woman, and he looking at me as he's talking, and then I'm trying to ignore the cat. And then he's like, I need a volunteer, to coach. And everybody was like, I'm sitting on my phone, everybody pointing at me. I look up, I was like, no, y'all don't want me to coach. Now I'm sitting there looking like Tupac off above the rim right now. You don't want me out there on that coach. Man, when I tell you, guy that asked me to coach, yeah, it was a good 4 year. I did it for 4 years, but I had a different job, different trucking job. So it allowed me to get off early enough to, if we had practice and stuff like that, I can make it to practice, or if we had a game during the week, I can make it to the game. And I told him off top, well, I was like, man, look here, y'all, I'm not politically correct. You asking the wrong one to be your coach, but I love kids.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna
gotta
coach your
love
kids.
kids.
I'm gonna coach your kids the way I was coached. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't like foul mouth, you might want to get your kid right there and leave, because I'm letting it fly.
I know, right?
So this Coach Will been coaching for years. So Coach Will gonna bring me out there. He take the back seat. Now I'm the lead coach now. I said, Coach Will, what you doing? He's like, nah, this your team. Now I was like, man, don't do me like that now. I was like, man, look here. I was like, oh my God.
Hey,
I think I would have had a lot of district meetings if I coached now.
bruh,
The way I coach right
Coach
now. I
Harrison.
would stop it.
I think it was more the women just wanted to see me out there on the damn court than me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Had to bring it back to you.
Well, hey.
But nah, it was fun, man. It had to I had to change my mindset from where I from I had to turn the street mindset off and come in this gym. And when I got coached, we was coming up playing ball and stuff, man. They don't coach like that no more. So I kept it the same way. You mess up, you running. You don't do good in your position, I'm benching you. I'm putting in somebody else. And I told the parents that. I was like, look here, man, this is what it's gonna be. I was like, we all like here to have fun, they developing, but you can only have so much fun. If this is what your kid, we're gonna push them to make sure they the best at what they doing. I'm not just gonna have your kid out here thinking, oh, we gonna have fun. No, you gonna grab that rebound. That's what you're gonna do. We're not laughing.
Yeah.
We're not joking around. So after the 6-7-year-old and it kind of got a little older is when I really kind of, because I had the same team for like 3 years, so I was able to watch these kids go from 6, 7, 8, 9 years old to 10. Now they're getting a little older, so it was the first experience was to ask me to coach was overwhelming, but I adapted. And the kids love me because hell, I'm damn near the biggest guy there, so they look at me like I'm a superhero. So they listen to everything I say. Ain't never seen no kid. My son don't look at me like that. Ain't never seen no kid just sit there and stare at me and listen to everything I say, and they sitting there and shake their head.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like that was something, man. These little kids, man. I love kids, man.
you gotta, as a coach, you gotta love kids
Yeah.
because you putting in a lot of your time, you sacrificing a lot of your life, and not for nothing, man. Coach Harrison put up a lot with me. I know he did. We was good together, but I know I put him in some awkward positions because, look, man, I'm giving all my extra time, and then you go out there like this, just a video game or something. I can't get down with that, man. So, like, I remember at a Christmas tournament one time, man, we got beat by our rival, man. Like, oh man, they beat us down something awful, man. It was like I had never experienced nothing in my life, and so I'm like me and Coach Harrison, we like about ready. We steam coming off our head. I'm so mad. I'm about to cry. That's how mad I am. I'm like, and I go in the locker room and I'm blessing them out. Coach Harrison just let me have the floor. I'm blessing them out left and right, and then I say, y'all didn't even play hard. I say, raise your hand if you think you played hard. And then one of these kids actually started to raise a hand. I said, I wish you raised your hand. I'll punch you in your face.
Every time I
said,
turn
I'm out
around, he
here.
goes to the
I
ground.
said, I'm out here giving up overtime for y'all. I was like, y'all come out on the court with this. Oh God.
Hey,
But no, man, you give so much to it. Sometimes all that just come out. I remember Coach Harrison punched the locker room when we was in Blue Ridge. He punched the locker. I was like, you gonna break your fingers, Coach? Don't hurt your fingers. Oh man,
it comes out, man. It's hard to stay professional.
it
So
is
it comes
because you
out,
give
boy.
your all, and you want your players to get their all too, man. Oh man, but it's been good, man. I want to end the thing, man, with everybody sharing like their best memory from whatever level of coaching or basketball it was. We want to start with you, Brenden. What's one of the best memories you ever had for basketball?
A couple stand out to me. I would say when I signed my national letter of intent to play college at Coker, I mean, that's pretty special. But I would say the 3 state titles at Dorman.
Oh man,
And you win the first one, and the first one really came down to the last shot. Blythewood missed a shot at the end at the buzzer, and we win. And then the second time, they're all different. I know that sounds crazy, but they're all different feelings. And then the second time we won, I felt like we had a lesser team, but still got there. And like that one was like, wow, that was a pretty damn good season. So all those state titles were special. And then when I got my first job here at Lugoff-Elgin, and we went on the road and beat Sumter in overtime, and it was like the first time LE's beaten Sumter in a decade. Oh, wow. Like I was holding back tears just because like we worked so dang hard to bring the program. Like we inherited a 6-win program, and to go on the road and beat Sumter, who's a perennial top 10 school, for me that was pretty special. So yeah, my college signing, the 3 state titles, and our first, I would call first big win here at LE. Those are all pretty special for me.
What about you, Coach Harrison? What's one of your favorite memories?
I guess mine is kind of I'll be quick, a 3-part of it. Obviously, my time at Berea was very special to me. Since Bird's on here, he can remember this. I had a little 2-seater truck.
I remember.
Yeah, that I would pick up kids and take them home. And I remember when it was like January, February, and it's 20 degrees outside. I think they kind of do little rock paper scissors to see who laid down in the back. Was just a special time for me as a coach. Bird, I love you. I mean,
I love you
great
too,
time. With me being at Pickens, when I took the job at Pickens, they had lost 57 games in a row. And at first, I didn't even want to entertain the idea of going there, but I'd be there, and we won 1 game last year, which broke the streak. We're going to win some games this year, and I love these kids at Pickens. They're great. We're not very skilled basketball-wise, but they play their rear ends off. It reminds me a lot of Bird. I never had to question him about effort. It didn't matter. It really, even classroom, practice, percent. And these kids at Pickens are really, really special to me. And I guess the third thing is with my son, Grant, who passed away 2 months ago.
Sorry to hear that.
It's been tough.
Yeah.
He'll be playing this year at Wade Hampton. So we're going through some things, but for the 16 years we had with him. And I think that's all I got to say.
It's all right. That's all
Hold
right.
your head up, Coach.
That's right. Hold your head up. You know, he looking down on you, so he still love you.
It's tough right there.
We're praying for you, Coach, too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Pray up.
Well, great. What's a memory you want to share of basketball, man?
I think one of the biggest ones, since we're all on here right now, was Coach Harrelson accepting me to coach with him, teaching me how to coach in South Carolina versus youth compared to high school, embracing. His family was open. His family has helped at certain times. My nephew, when he got in trouble, Coach Harrelson didn't hesitate to try to help him to get out of it. So the purity of his heart, that's why when things like, you know, with your son passing, it just broke my heart because Jim, all of them, I watched them, all of them get taller than me as they came up, and I watched them all, you know, working with the district and working and talking to your wife when I used to see her. Your family became a part of my family, so it really, really broke our heart when Grant passed away. A lot of things, you know, stand out. The friendships and the family bonds you build. My wife and I run into Brenden. We run into him at Sam's. We see his kid, and we think about the fact that we have known him forever, you know. And she asks about him. So it's those things that get me. The game is the game, and we all love basketball, but you cannot remove. I never got to Coach Byrd, but he still was like like one of mine when we're out and we're talking to each other. When he used to come help my kids play defense and teach them how to close out in the gaps, we had a bond. So it's just a bond of basketball, period, man. So I can't really pick one particular moment. It's just the game itself has created friendships that I would never have had without it. So
Okay.
that's about it.
All right, Bird. What's one of your favorite memories as a player, man?
Man, I got four, and I'm gonna tell them quick.
Okay.
All right, the first one will have to be in AAU. Me and Quentin Ballinger. Everybody fouled out on our team except three players. Me, Quentin, and a guy named Adam. We was down by like 10 points, and we ended up winning by 10 points with three players. But to this day, I don't know how we did it. Me and Quentin just figured out a way to take off and get layups, but we did it. That was one. Number two was when I scored got my ball for 1,000 points at Burrell, and we played against I think who was that coach?
Seneca?
I thought it was Daniel.
No.
It was Seneca. It was Seneca. I think Curry.
It was. I forgot. I know Jermaine O'Neal's nephew, a little cousin, played because I got a dunk and Tommy shouted me out, but I never forget that game. The third one is my senior year in college. Chris Paul, he sent me his first pair of Jordans.
Oh wow.
That what's up.
When he signed with MJ, he sent me his first. He sent me and Luke his first pair of Jordans, and me and Luke decided to play in them. We lost the game, but I dunked on them. Whatever. And then my last one is when I went overseas to Kuwait. My second game, I dropped like 45 or whatever, and like I had a tremendous shooting game. But yeah, those four right there are definitely like my favorite.
All right. Well, all right, Gerald, what you got, man? You played basketball and you played when you was coming up, and you did a little coaching in youth. What's one of your favorite memories, man?
Ah, man, I can't top all them, but I will say that, like Gray was saying, like the family
Yeah.
Like the kids. Like when I coach them kids, man, I look at them and I analyze every kid. Like I said, I had my kids for the same kid for 3 years, maybe 1 or 2 was new. And you analyze every last one of them and you tell them, hey, this is what you should be working on. This is what you should be working on. This is what you should be working on. Whether they listen to you or not, boom. Years later, you know, I go to the gym and I was watching my cousin, watching my homeboy's son play ball and all the kids that was in there playing ball. Cause like I say, I took my son out because it's grades. And the kids that just come up to you and all the parents that come up to you, hey, coach, you gonna coach again, blah, blah, blah. I've been working on this, I've been working on that. And then you see these kids play, man, and it's like, wow, they listen.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I can't even get my own damn son to listen. And
He's listening. Trust me, he's listening.
That's
not gonna let you know he's listening.
That's the memory, man, of the people that just that know you and just you know, because I don't consider myself the friendliest person that you want to talk to, but when people remember you and want to talk to you, man, that's what that's the memory I got with the kids that I had, man. They just took in everything, they learned and got better. And hell, they still want me to coach to this day. I just can't do it now because I got another job. But yeah, man. And we won my second year. We actually won the little 8U championship.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Well, you know, like I was saying, you know, the first time, like I got my first high school job. Coach Harrelson gave me that. He didn't know me from Adam. All he knew was I coached Levi in AAU, and I told Levi, I said, hey man, ask Coach Harrelson if I can be an assistant. He let me be an assistant, and then he told me, hey man, you got all the subs. He gave me a responsibility right off the bat, and I thought that was huge. And from then on, we just had a dynamic relationship the whole time, and I appreciate that, Coach. With Byrd, Byrd was the first player outside of Cario. That's like family. I coached him from 6th grade on, but Byrd was the first player that ever showed me a respect as a coach. Like I say something, and he did it, no questions asked. One time you had hurt your back in practice, and then we went to a game. We was playing in the game, and you dove for a ball at half court. Like it was a long shot for you to get the ball anyway, but you dove for it. Because, and I said, Byrd, what are you doing? He said, you told me to go hard. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'm really in this thing now. I was like, he didn't ask no questions. I was like, he just said I told him to go hard, and he did it, back hurting and everything. My other 2 memories actually involve Brenden. Brenden, when I first started coaching his age AAU, he was actually playing with another team, and I was with Chuck. And Chuck, Chuck loved kids, man, but Chuck, hey, he was a little excitable to say the least. And so he asked me to be an assistant, and I came and coached. It was like I came and coached like halfway through the season, and then the start of the next season, I started my own team. And I called Brenden, and I was like, Brenden, what you doing for AAU? He was like, whatever you doing, coach. That's what I'm doing. I was like, cool, that's what's up. I was like, you know, you get the loyalty from the players, man. That's huge, man. That is huge. That's like part of the reason why you do it. So you can, like Gerald was saying, you develop them relationships and things like that. And the final one was, Brenden, actually, when you told me that you got a job being assistant as a college coach. I was like, man, somebody out there and coached and actually made it. I ain't care what level. I was like, man, this is awesome. I was like, I said, I coached him. That's exactly what I did. I coached him. Yes, I coached him.
Hey, but it sounds like we all have the same type of coaching mentality. We don't mind cussing some kids out.
Sometimes you have to. Hey, sometimes they need it. Sometimes they need it. But we definitely appreciate our special guest, Brenden, and And Jeremy and Coach Harrelson, we appreciate y'all joining the Local Dudes for another episode of Guys Down the Street. Y'all don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We are now available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Anchor Podcasts every Tuesday. For everybody on the panel, it's been real. We are out of here. Till next time, we out.
Since I know you like to talk, and I know you not that far, come down the street with the guys. Come down the street with the guys.